Live pictures we're seeing the height of the water. The motorway between Brisbane and Ipswich is completely cut off. We're seeing water right up at roof levels, frightening. We heard this morning, or just a little while ago, from our Prime Minister, who was saying that 15 Defence Force helicopters are now available for search and rescue, also having to drop in food and supplies to isolated towns. So there obviously are a lot of people that need help, and the Defence Force is available and will be helping out. As the Premier said, we are preparing for a worst-case scenario, so let's get a state of play and check in with Samantha Armitage at Brekkie Central. As we go to where 75% of the state is disaster declared. The immediate threat is in the southeast. The Brisbane River is rapidly rising towards an expected peak of 4.5 metres on the high tide at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That should be 4 o'clock this afternoon. Around 6,500 residents will be forced to evacuate. More than 2,000 city streets will be inundated. To the west of the city, Toowoomba and Grantham are struggling to deal with the aftermath of Monday's inland tsunami.
Very sad news overnight, with further missing person notifications made to the Queensland Police, and the number they are now searching for is over 90.
And helicopter rescue crews are trying to save people stranded on their roofs in Lowood in the Lockyer Valley after more flooding overnight. Prime Minister Julia Gillard says more military resources are being made available to Queensland as the flood crisis deepens. 7 extra helicopters will be deployed to the state to assist with rescues and aid efforts.
We were talking earlier today, up to 100,000 homes could be affected. Where are we at now?
Well, it looks like that's going to be fairly close to the mark over the next 2 days, Larry. At the moment, we still have around about 50,000 homes without power. A number of those are still off through the Lockyer Valley, Brisbane Valley and the Mary Valley. They've been off for a few days now, and we're still cut off by floodwater. But since last night, and the flood peak last night, we were required to turn off power to around 20,000 homes and businesses in Ipswich. Yeah. And now as the water peak, as you're saying, moves downriver, we have to now, for safety's sake, to keep the water away. If it comes in contact with high voltage network, that's not a good thing. Okay. For safety's sake, we have to start dropping people off.
We understand there couldn't be a worse mix than water and electricity. Now, it has happened at one of the plants, I understand, where it's gone wrong.
Yes, some of the areas we've already had to interrupt supply this morning include Auchenflower, West End and parts of Milton. Unfortunately, with one of those, the water beat us to it, and we've had a minor explosion at one of our smaller substations that feeds Lang Park, and that's indicating the sort of problem that we do find that we could be facing through the rest of the day.
Just to keep residents in the picture, when you get in and turn it off, it's preemptive and it helps you with the solution on the other side, right? If you wait till it explodes, then we're all in trouble.
That's exactly right. In fact, that's the main reason we have to start turning power off into the CBD now. Most of the supply points in the CBD are either at ground level or basement level. Even though the water has only just started to enter the CBD, we have to turn off. We've turned off around about 6 blocks at the moment. That could increase to about 10 and get the gear out.
Let me ask you about hospitals, nursing homes.
Generally, most areas, we're pretty good with storms and things here in Queensland, so generally most of those areas have backup supplies with generators and things. We have a list. We've been trying to contact various centres that we know don't have generators to give them as much warning as possible. But the places that are losing power are also the places that are being inundated.
There's so much information around there at the moment. Must be information overload for you at home if you are trying to get your head around this and you are in one of the affected areas. What's the best resource for people to go to find out if they're going to be affected and when?
Certainly the areas that will be affected by power interruptions are the same areas that are likely to be infected by inundation. So if you look like you've been on the flood map, then they're the areas we're likely to have to introduce power restrictions to. The other thing is to call us or keep a very close eye on the media.
Okay, so 50,000 homes out now. We could get to 100,000 by the end of the day.
Well, certainly by the flood peak tomorrow, as the forecasts are, it's a bigger peak tomorrow, but we're expecting certainly 100,000 will be affected by tomorrow afternoon.
Mike Wanston, Energex, thank you very much. Back to you, Mel.
All right, Larry, thank you so much for that. Now let's check in with our Sunrise mate, Sharon Gadella. Sharon's been evacuated from her home. Sharon, good morning. How are you doing?
Hello, Mel, love. I haven't been evacuated yet. We're just doing the last of the putting everything up to a higher level. But, yeah, we're going to have to get out, sweetheart. We've got, I think we've got 2 steps left before it comes in at the back. So it's looking pretty grim.
Oh, so you've got an upstairs then. So what have you done? Just basically move everything up there?
we've had to move everything upstairs. And gee, you don't realise you've got so much stuff until you have to move it, do you? But we spent all yesterday and today just moving everything upstairs. But whether it goes that high, who knows? We've got some friends, lovely friends, Lee and Tony up the road have been over here helping us this morning, so we're going to go and stay with them. And I might even try to get into work this afternoon, but I've got a 5-week-old, Mel, so it's been interesting times. It's been a very strange maternity leave.
You've got 2 little kiddies that need you, so don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Take care, Sharon. Yeah, all right.
Mel, no
hopefully you're okay. I'll let you keep going because I know that you're really busy.
I think there's probably a hell of a lot of people worse off than we are, so that's always the way, isn't it? So I hope everyone's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
so do we. All right, Sharon Godella, thank you so much. We've, lots of little kids coming down here and having a splash in the water. It's quite interesting to see the different reaction from people. Some are just incredulous and get their cameras out, and obviously kids are amazed by it. And look how much it's come up in the short time we've been here. So we will keep you up to date with everything that's happening. You're watching a special edition of Sunrise Live into every market right across Australia.